más.
Hi everyone, hola mi gente. Welcome to the first episode of Building Bridges, a series of interviews with people that have great stories to tell. Today, I'm going to interview Yashira Rivera, founder of the lifestyle blog Montage.com, where she encourages women to pursue self-confidence. Yashira has been recently selected as one of the winners of Women of Merit Award. I just wanted you to share with us about your career path. How did you went to studying fashion design, and then how you ended up working at that station now?
Oh, absolutely. So my degree is in fashion design, which I studied here in Philadelphia at the Art Institute of Philadelphia. I graduated now 12 years ago, so I'm not trying to show my age, but yes, it's been quite some time. The first 6 years out of college, I focused predominantly in living in New York and Los Angeles, really focusing on the fashion design because my dream was to be the next Alexander McQueen, Oscar de la Renta. And then I acknowledged that it's a very challenging industry. And at the time that I was at the peak of designing is when I was diagnosed with my several autoimmune disorders. And I couldn't live the life of a struggling or starving artist. I had to kind of buckle up and kind of change direction. And I focused more, on philanthropy and organizations that have a mission for social change. At the moment, I'm in radio because I was a part of a design startup, pretty much doing fashion technology. And I loved radio interviews and media, so I kind of took the plunge to kind of change over into media.
I'd like for you to tell us about a little bit more in detail about your health condition and how that changed your career path.
No, absolutely. So when I was 26, I was diagnosed with multiple autoimmune disorders. The first one was something called chronic ITP, which is a platelet deficiency. I was 26, living in Manhattan, living literally the life of my dreams, working at Yankee Stadium, bartending, designing. I mean, listen, I was literally on top of the Empire State Building. I became ill. I had to move back in with my parents, which nobody likes in their mid-20s. And then after that, I had to go through infusions and transfusions, and I went through 7 doctors in 10 months, and it was a very challenging time. Because one thing a lot of people don't like to talk about when you fall ill or become sick is finances. Bankruptcy happens a lot because of medical bills, and I didn't want to be that person. Mm-hmm. So, right after I'm moving back with my parents, I had 3 jobs. I was bartending, cleaning, working in a bank, and just trying to get myself out of this financial hole. So I knew that I needed a career that was steady. During my diagnoses, I started Montage.com because I realized that a lot of women have daily struggles, whether it's weight, whether it's confidence issues, whether or not it's an illness, whether it's abuse. I mean, women, we go through so much in general, whether it's, through media or through workspace. And I wanted to create a safe haven for women to kind of share their stories and for me to share mine and to be like, you know what, ladies, you're not alone. So that was kind of like my escape during that time frame, to kind of tell people that it's okay that you're struggling and you're not alone. So that's why I started Montage. It was a lot, but I knew that I was going to get out of it. I always tell myself that si se puede and that I'm going to get out of it. That's it. And how I tell myself that is from my support system and the people I surround myself with. Surround yourself around people who remind you of your greatness when you forget.
You identify as an Afro-Latina?
That's right. Look at this.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So if you could share a little bit of where your family is from and why do you identify as not just a Latina but an Afro-Latina, which means that you embrace your African ancestry.
So my family is from Bayamón, Puerto Rico. They came here in the 1980s. My mother is considered a European Puerto Rican. My father is considered a Afro-Latino or Indio Puerto Rican. So what's interesting is the dynamic just within the Latino culture. You know, growing up, I had a bit of identity crisis because I grew up in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood, so a lot of people identified me as African American. And I was like, well, no, I'm Latina, and no, I'm this, and no, I'm that. I speak Spanish, and this and that. So it's challenging. You know, I've slowly evolved into this. I consider myself Afro-Latina because, look at me. You know, my hair, my complexion. Yeah, it's so hard not to. And I feel that it's so important to embrace it because we have to tell our younger girls that it's okay that you don't have to have straight hair and light eyes and light skin. And because there's an unfortunate situation of colorism within the Latino community that I'm trying to completely break. Afro-Latino women are completely underrepresented. I mean, we're underrepresented. I love me J-Lo, I love me Shakira, I love me all those women. They're like the staples of the universe, but we don't all look like that. I've run into multiple instances of racism, discrimination, injustice, and I've handled it with as much poise as I can. As I'm going to change the mentality that I have and say, you know what, I may have not gotten that job or got that career because of my appearance, but I'm not going to give them that power.
Can you give us more ideas on how women can gain more confidence?
Yeah, so with words of affirmation, there's so many ways to do it. I just want to touch that one again. Get a dry erase marker and start writing letters to yourself on your mirrors. Writing love letters to yourself and then reading it like a month later, like putting it underneath your winter socks, like, oh, I wrote this to myself, like, keep pushing, keep fighting. So words of affirmations is huge. It's very important to eliminate those in your life that don't support you. Compliment other people. I think it's important to reciprocate kindness. I think another way to raise your confidence is through philanthropy and volunteering. It's kind of like, you know, what can I do next to ensure that, you know, that the community that I live in and the community that I work in, you know, we can all rise as one. When you're sad or upset, you have to listen to it. You're allowed to be mad, you're allowed to cry, you're allowed to be upset. And once you get over it, then you push through. I think too often, especially in the Latino culture, we're just like, we sweep it right underneath the rug. Like, don't even talk about it. Like, it doesn't exist. Like it's between denial and this and that. Like, no, like, you have to step up against what's bothering you or what you feel is bringing you down, and you need to hit it head on. Being sure that you have a balanced diet. Being sure that you're being very cautious because what you eat really does change how you feel. I think it's also important to exercise. You know, do yoga, meditate, do all of these things to kind of make yourself feel better. Because
if you want to share what's next for Yashira Rivera?
In addition to converting my website, I'm very heavily involved with reproductive rights and reproductive justice. So being sure that we teach our women and our girls our rights to our bodies. So I'm working on storytelling projects and with a couple groups. I'm actually working on a project with immigrants, asylum seekers, and refugees. And also, you know, always trying to build my career and my personal life and trying to find ways to live my life to the best capacity that I can and to be the best version of myself. But you can always find me at Yaya_Rivera_ on every platform of social media, and just Google me.
Thank you so much, Yashira, for being here. And stay tuned for the next episodes, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you.